Good morning. Our presentation is about deciding when to put an animal down. The knowledge question is, when should ethics affect decisions made about pets in relation to their health? A real-life situation is that a horse appears out of the ordinary. The vet comes out and diagnoses it with a neurologic disease. Typically, when a horse presents these serious signs, it leads to putting the horse down because the horse usually cannot walk normally, or sometimes they won't eat or drink, which can put the horse at risk. This leads to the owner having to contemplate whether to put the horse down or put them on decreasing dosage of steroids to see if the horse improves at all. As defined by Merriam-Webster's dictionary, ethics is an area of study that deals with ideas about what is good and bad behavior, a branch of philosophy dealing with what is morally right or wrong. Ethics plays into this real-life situation because it is a very tough situation, especially because the owner is responsible for the horse's health. Health is very unpredictable, and we only know so much about particular things because most of the time neurologic horses are put down, so there's not many studies done about this. Other diseases found in cats and dogs can be similar. Sometimes they will offer a surgery for the animal, but it's not 100% guaranteed that the surgery will work as planned. A week later, your animal could have the same issue all over again. So this is when the owner needs to separate their emotions from the decision and use reason and ethics to make the proper decision. Ethics is the basis of moral rights and human economics state that they don't define the moral rights necessarily, but they set a guideline as to what would be perceived as morally correct in the general public for the animal's life. Morals are also based upon life and liberty. Every American has these rights, and if something threatens them, it is normally wrong. So if the disease threatening the horse, that could be wrong, but also your decision to put the animal down could also be wrong if it's not the time yet. Euthanization could be a beneficial option, depending on the horse's condition. As humans, we do not have the right to take their life without consent. They're animals, so they can't talk. So we have to utilize ethics to make the best judgment of what to do and what will be best for the horse. The ethics depends on the animal's health condition. For example, if a horse is blind in one eye, they can still proceed with a good quality of life. But other injuries, such as Barbaro, he shattered his leg during a Preakness. He would never be able to run again or proceed with a normal life, perhaps even walk. So that's an extreme situation in which the horse should definitely be put down. So the answer to this question is animals should be put down, and we should make major decisions about their life when they're enduring severe pain and their life cannot proceed its normal course. Conditions that are neurologic in the specific case of our real-life situation are especially risky. The reason I chose personally not to put my horse down is because he was still eating, he was still drinking. At first, he just was walking very out of sorts, crisscrossing his legs, but we didn't feel that he was going to fall down and not be able to get back up during the night. It's a very bumpy slope for anybody who experiences this, so it's hard to make the decision, and most people wouldn't have made the decision that we did about my horse. So there are some advantages and disadvantages, as mentioned before, because animals, the human has the pressure of making the call. You could go on with life and wonder whether you make the right choice or not. But an advantage is that you're putting the animal out of its misery, so you may be helping it. But the disadvantage is, what if you did that surgery? What if the animal could have survived? Are you making a mistake about making this decision about animals' health? Another real-life situation that could be related to this is the human consumption of animals. Every day, thousands of animals are killed, but they're for our consumption. So we don't look at it as taking their lives to further ours, so to speak, because we live off these animals. We're getting nutrients from them. So these animals that are being killed are healthy. To what extent is it ethical to take their lives for our own consumption? As the higher as humans consume more meat, more animals are killed every day. But we're making this decision not based on their health, but on ours. So to what extent does ethics play into that decision? You know, it's ethical in our mind to kill the animal to eat it, but it's not, perhaps may not be the best decision for that animal's life. And that's the end of my presentation. Are there any questions? Yeah.
At the end there, you're talking about ethics based on the consumption of animals. How would you define ethics? Because if you're saying in our minds that it's ethical to eat them because we consume them, how else would it, I'm trying to think of how else would it be unethical if it's not.
It's unethical because we're killing so many animals, and the more animals that you need, the more production, so to say, the animal you need, and it's unhealthy for these animals to be reproducing that much, and it causes them to lose their lives because they're at an unhealthy state.
Do you think it's wrong to eat meat, to kill
animals? No, I don't. This is just like an example that I related back to it because I talked with Madame Mindek about it.
So where would the ethics be okay if it would?
I think it's okay because it's, well, honestly, the circle of life, the way things go. Like, a snake's going to eat a rat. It's not going to say, oh, that's another animal, so I'm not going to eat it because it's affecting that the rat's life. It's just the way we were born and the way.
So where would it be okay to kill an animal? Like, I was just listening to, on the way over, they were saying they're going to stop giving chickens antibiotics because it's going to create superbugs in humans.
Okay.
And obviously, is it unethical to cage all these birds so that, we can have...
I think definitely it is unethical. And the way that the animals we eat are treated aren't, like, their conditions are very harsh, and like the chicken coops are all like clumped together. The cattle, it's not a matter of how well the cattle's doing, it's about how much money the farmer can make off of it, pretty much. So they're not really caring about the living conditions of these animals, so it is a bit unethical.
So what if you put you've got the animals out to graze and they live a wonderful life, and then one day, you're going to kill them to eat. Like, is there really a...
I think there's a difference between the state of the animal's life. Because there's a difference between being grass-fed and being raised out in a field than being in the conditions that, like for example, like they don't get treated as well because the farmer's only worrying about like the money he's going to make off of them. So it's like a mass production, I guess, of the cows.
Isn't he worried about only money when he's got them out grazing and then knowing one day he's going to...
Yeah, but it's a different state of life for the animal. Like, I think you can enjoy your life if you're out, like, oh, I'm not an animal, but I feel like life would be better for them if they're out in a field, like, rather than in some factory. Yeah.
Aside from efficiency of food production, why do you think it's easier for people to kill a lame cow than a lame horse?
It's easier to kill a lame cow because there's benefits for the human out of it. They may not have as deep of a connection. Like, livestock, people don't typically have build relationships with, where a horse, it could be considered more of a pet than livestock, really, because people do have them as pets and ride them and are with them every day, whereas a cow, like, it's just sitting out in the field, you kind of, or a lamb, you don't have as deep a connection with the land.
Yeah. Right.
It has to do like with the emotion behind it.
Cool.
Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you guys.
Yo, mine literally slept.
So what do you do after you're done your presentation?
Well, if nobody else is presenting, we're allowed to leave.